All right, guys, let's talk about the Fever's first win last night against the LA Sparks, which showcased the #1 and the #2 pick of the WNBA draft. Now, the Fever has been off to a rough start, but the last 3 games they have played very, very competitive, losing by 4 to the Suns, and then to the Storm, losing by 2 points, I think. And then last night finally got their win. Now they do have a tough game tonight on a back-to-back night playing the defending champions, the Las Vegas Aces. But I'll get to that in a few. Now the Indiana Fever, they're playing the most games out of any team that's in the WNBA right now, and they haven't really had a chance to have a practice properly because they've been traveling and getting to another city, having minimal practice, and whatever the case may be. But last night showcased a team that battled back from being 11 down, was able to bring themselves back out and take over in the third quarter. And it was great to see Mitchell, Timmy, and Boston finally was able to put a solid game together, especially Aaliyah Boston. She has been struggling the first couple of games. Don't know if, she looked a little more heavier than she did last year, but probably not really taking care of her body, not coming into preseason and training camp, working herself together in the off season. But nonetheless, she put a hell of a game together. Aaliyah Boston was 17 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. And she was 8 for 14 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the free throw line. But on top of that, she had 2 steals, only 3 turnovers, 4 personal fouls, and she was a +4 in that time. Along with her was her other benchmate, Fed Bingley. She had 17 points in 31 minutes, and that's like starter minutes she had, because Chrissy Sides has to figure out how they're going to, if they want to play fast, they're going to have to put Fed Bingley in the game to be a starter, because her, Boston, and you're going to have to put Smith on the bench. She didn't have a pretty good game, but you're going to have to have Mitchell. You probably have to find out who you're going to run the point. Wallace, I think Hull or Grace Berger or Taylor. One of them could start in front of Wallace because she has 7 points, but her defense is not as good, and you need somebody to run. Even though, what's the girl name? Wheeler. She comes in, she gives good energy, but she's erratic. So I feel like that you're gonna have to mix that point guard, that 2-guard spot up. Allow Caitlin to run the point more and have somebody else, or put Mitchell as the 2-guard and whoever. Like, you probably have to put somebody else in at forward, to be that spot. Maybe Berger. I don't know how tall Berger is, but something, you have to shake something up. But nevertheless, the Fever got a well-balanced game, because even though Caitlin Clark wasn't shooting well last night, she was definitely contributing in a lot of ways. She had 11 points, which she didn't get. She only had 4 points in the first half, and the rest of her points came in the second half, especially on 2 clutch threes that really, one that keep the lead and one to seal the game. She had 10 rebounds, where she led the team in rebounds. She had 8 assists, 2 assists away from a triple-double. She shot 4 for 14 from the field, 2 for 9 for 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. She had 1 block, 4 steals, only 2 turnovers, and 2 personal fouls with a +3 rating. That's a hell of a game. That's how your superstar is supposed to play when the other shots are making. Now, we can sit here and make out how, Angel Reeves and all of these other saying they're putting up better numbers are. They're not putting up better numbers than Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has the trajectory to be a scorer, a distributor, and hit the boards. When you could do all of that, that makes you a hell of a player. That makes you an all-star player. That makes you one of the top players in the league because you can do just about everything. There was comments before they played this when they lost to the Sun, and they asked Alyssa Thomas what they think about her, and they was like, oh, and then you could tell about snide comments. It was like, oh, she's a great shooter, but no, her passing, it's just like how LeBron came to the league. And it was like, LeBron, he was so strong, getting to the basket. But the first thing they said, well, because LeBron is a great passer, and he does pass the ball very well. That's Caitlin Clark. Her passing gets so underrated because so many people are locked in on her shooting, which she's the only player in the WNBA right now that takes these deep logo threes and hits them at a clip. And once she really figures out how this team is going to navigate, it's going to be hard to really stop this team. It's going to be really hard to focus on her as much because with Mitchell in the game, Mitchell takes a lot of pressure off of Caitlin Clark because Mitchell can score. She can shoot threes, but she can't shoot it deep like that. She shoots threes and everything like that. I do want to turn over to the Sparks side because the Sparks did came out with a lot of energy. Hammy did led the team with scoring with 18, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. She almost had a triple-double in that game. But Cameron Brink got in foul trouble. That's what really kind of turned the table for the Fever because Cameron Brink, I love her game. I love, she's tall, rangy, fast. She can run the floor. I wish she would have dropped down in the second round, but she's a high pick. She's a very high pick. She had 15 points last night. She had 9 boards. She almost had a double-double. She had 2 assists. She shot 5 for 9 from the field. She was 1 from 3 for three-point line, and she was perfect from the free throw line. She had 2 blocks, 2 steals, but 4 turnovers, that's crucial, and 5 personal fouls, which was a -5, and in the plus-minus radius. But Cameron Brink is only going to get better too. To me, if you look at, I don't know what Camila Cardozo is going to bring to the table because you still going to have to work her in with, and how you're going to divide minutes between her and Angel Reese over there for the Chicago Sky. But Enrica Jackson played a hell of a game last night. She had 16 points in 21 minutes, 2 rebounds. So I think, to me, I would bring Rico off the bench and put her because she's a forward. I would move Cameron. They got Cameron Brink as a forward, but she should be playing center. I don't understand that because I would move Cameron Brink as center because she's faster, and I move Rico Jackson into that forward spot. That's a hell of a lineup right there. If you do that, your lineup will be good. That's what I would do if I was the Sparks. But nevertheless, the Sparks, they came out. They had an 11-point lead. The Fever came back in and took over and did everything. The Fever, as a team, shot 42% from the field, along with the Sparks. They had 42%. From three-point land, the Fever was 7 for 25 for 28%, where the Sparks was only 5 for 24 for 21%. Free throw advantage, Fever was 13 for 17 for 76%, and the Sparks was 86% with a 18-21 advantage. Turnovers, the Fever has done a better job in the last few games of not turning the ball over much. When they did that, the first 3-4 games of the season, they was turning the ball over a hell of a lot. It was really not taking care of the ball. Caitlin had the most turnovers, turning the ball over, but she has cut down her turnovers a lot in the last 3-4 games or so. The Sparks had the most turnovers. They had 18. The Fever led in assists. They had 22-18. They rebounded better. They had 5 offensive rebounds. They had 32 total. That's a good job for Caitlin. Led the team with 10. The Sparks had 35, so they only had 3 more. They had less offensive board. They both had 2 blocks apiece. The Fever had 9 steals in total. Only committed 17 personal fouls to the 19. So if you look at this as an overall trajectory, this Fever team played a really great game. They was down, they battled, just like in the last 2 games that they lost close. They was down, but they battled. They did took the lead in both of them games, but couldn't close out and finish. Especially, they could have. If you think about it now, they would have been 3 and. Let's see. Take 3 and 5. They had lost 5 games. They won 3, so you should have been 3-3. You would have been 3-3 right now. You'd have been really in a good position in the middle of the pack of the division. But nevertheless, like I said, they have a tough game tonight against the Aces. I really want them to beat the Aces, but I know it's going to be a tough task with all the narrative that's surrounding the Aces and the situation with Caitlin Clark. I would love to see that upset. And I think if they was to upset them, I think this is going to set them on a winning streak. This team is going, because they do got the Sparks again next week. Then they have next Saturday. They got Thursday. I think they have Seattle Thursday night. Then they have Chicago next Saturday. So I think they have 3 home games straight after this. So that will allow them to get some practice time in after this road game here. So that would be good because I think they play Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. If I'm not mistaken, because they have a back-to-back. I think they play Saturday and Sunday because I think they play New York Sunday after Chicago, something like that. So, I mean, if they play LA really, really tough and say they lose by 1 point or no more than 5 points, I'm happy with that. But if they come out and upset them and win, then I really see them taking off from that point on. They're going to start winning games. And it's going to be very difficult to play this team. I think going into this game, the matchup is going to be Boston going to have to stay out of foul trouble when it comes to Asia Wilson. I think Timmy Fabio, she definitely going to have to start because I think that Fever needs to run. And I think they need to run the Aces. If they run the Aces and tire them out, they can really get some great baskets, and that'll force Becky Hammond to switch her lineup and call a timeout. But nevertheless, great win for the Fever. I do want to tackle on another note because it's something very impressive with Caitlin Clark at this moment. Right now, Caitlin Clark is the 3rd player in WNBA history to record 100 points, 30 rebounds, and 30 assists through the first 6 games. She joins Candace Parker, who did it in 2008, and Sabrina Ionescu, who did it a few years ago, 2020 to 2021. So with that being said, Caitlin Clark she's already put her mark into this game. She's really putting her mark in this stamp in this game and in this league, for better for worse. So I feel most likely for better. They also played in a record crowd last night in LA, 19,103, and that's something. That's something that's very, very impressive. And I actually said that before it's over, they're going to have over 20,000 in the stands, because you see how the power shift, how people come out there, they want to see Caitlin Clark, whether she do well, whether she not, they want to see her play. And if this Fever team comes tonight, and play well, I mean, like really well, make this game really competitive, I think they're going to be able to continue to be a draw attraction. because the Fever is the team that everybody wants to see, because no matter where they go, on the road or home, they selling out crowds. I don't know what the viewership number is for last night's game, but I think it's high. It could be like another 2 million viewership. And I think tonight, this game against LA is going to be another record breaking. I think it's going to be over close to another 19,000. It might break the record from last night. It could push up to 20,000, because people wants to see. And this is where we at. She's a must-see attraction. Not saying that the other ladies in the NBA are not, but she's the new needle mover. She's the phenom. She's what everybody wants to look forward to. So, but again, the Fever with a great win last night. They like I said, the Fever with a great win last night. They definitely deserve it. They fought hard for the last 3 games, got close. They finished it. Now they have to turn around and put that win behind them and focus on the Aces, who's going to come in there and looking to embarrass them. That's what they're going to look to do, is try to embarrass this team. And, and let the chips fall what they may. But until then, to the next Fever update, this is your boy Livewire Sports Media. I'm out.